look into the Fibonacci sequence, right, which we can find in everything throughout nature. It's even the dimensions of the Fibonacci and the golden rectangle and the golden triangle within the human body in shape and form. So all this is all circumstantial evidence that's leading to a fingerprint. So if you were a CSI agent, right, and you're looking for the crime of creation, and you're looking for enough circumstantial evidence so you can convict somebody, all these things that I'm telling you now will be put together as evidence to say, this is a fingerprint. This is being left behind by a creative force. And that creative force then leads us to God.
Yeah.
You see? So science and spirituality are been taught to be separate. They actually go together. And when you combine the two together, you get a much bigger and broader understanding than the other way where they're separate. This is only science and this is only religion, and you can't really get the big picture that way. If you want to get to the root of everything, the quantum physics, quantum mechanics, supersymmetry, and science can actually back up what's happening on the spiritual side. So because of that, and there's one more thing I want to mention. Scientists got together in a lab and they created something called an eighth dimensional quasicrystal. Now, when they positioned this eighth dimensional quasicrystal, and I'll give you some graphics for this, by the way, they positioned it, they created a shadow, a light shadow, a shadow of light, not a shadow of darkness, which created a fourth dimensional quasicrystal. And when they positioned that fourth dimensional quasicrystal in a particular angle, it created a sphere. And that sphere is a light shadow of a higher dimension, which they believe is the universe that we're living in.
So almost like a hologram.
Yes. We're living inside of a fractal holographic matrix made of light. The Bible was right. The Quran is right. All the ancient indigenous peoples were right. We are living in a creation. There's no doubt about it. What I'm saying is science is pointing to the method used for this creation. The method that this entity, God, used is a fractal holographic matrix of light, which is based on the Mandelbrot set. It's based on error correcting codes. It's based on quasicrystals and all these other formats that allow it to allow this realm to actually exist.
So what I'm hearing is part of this cracking this code for you is not about, I think most people want you to believe one way.
Yes.
And one thing. But part of your code of what you've cracked is that the spirituality and not the religion.
Yeah, I don't want the religion because religion is man-made. Religion is man-made. Anytime I can read certain parts of the Bible where it's clearly oppressing women, where they're vindicating and approving slavery, where they're approving starvation of people, where they're approving slaughtering an entire town because one person speaks against me, slaughter the women, slaughter the children, slaughter the virgins, unless you want to keep them, it says, and you could take them with you.
Vengeance is mine.
Yeah, bring me back the spoils of war. Now, when I'm thinking about God, I don't think God needs any spoils of war. So why would he demand them to bring spoils of war back? It didn't add up to me. So what I'm saying is certain things that are in there are influenced and remixed by a flesh and blood person. Because why? Because they want to be able to implement that in the name of God and dominate another group of people. Just like the chosen land. Right? He's got these Israeli people, Israeli fighting against the Palestinians, and they believe that they deserve to eradicate them, even though they themselves have already gone through something similar in Germany. Now they want to do that to another group of people because God's promised that they have the right to this land. That doesn't sound like, it sounds like a man said, you know what, we'd like to take this land. If we say God ordained it to us or gave it to us, then we can go here and wipe these people out, all in the name of God. We don't have to have a dirty conscience about it. It's the ego of man that's destroying things in the name of religion. And so if you take the religious aspect out of it, you take the remix out of it and go purely only on spirituality, you go to some of the more ancient teachings, you discover that it's all about learning how to seek the light, become the light, how to transmutate all the darkness inside of you, how to love people, how to be of service to others, and how to collectively come together and make the world a better place. And I think that religion, it gives a person a mind where they don't have to take responsibility for their own actions.